Hey friends, full reactions in the link in the description below, so pause, leave a like, really helps with the channel, subscribe, and come back after you watch the reaction for the discussion. Give you some time to do that. Review and commentary starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I was on the verge of tears for nearly the entire episode. I'm just too invested right now. This show is going to be the death of me, I swear. But yeah, Deku, Uraraka, Froppy, and Kirishima are all so focused in their daily training at school because they have this driving force behind them to help save Eri. Aizawa did say that the big three would be heavily involved and that the first years wouldn't be as much, but I get them definitely wanting to be as ready as possible just in case. And I also get the feeling that they might be a little bit more involved than Aizawa plans for them to be. And their classmates think they've learned a lot from their work studies, but it's just that they have this intense focus on what needs to be done. Bakugo's getting jealous. Everyone has their own path, man. Just do the best you can and just relax, dude. Oh, Bakugo's hilarious. Deku, though, is so focused that he kind of zones out at school a little while he's eating lunch. But Ida's there for him. If you ever want to talk about anything, just let me know. Just being there for his friend like Deku tried to be there for him in the past. And it feels like we haven't had a chance to see some of our characters form like a stronger bond of friendship recently. And they've like just all been so focused on their goals. We've been seeing the work studies. So yeah, it's nice to see the sweet moment between them. And then and then Ida and Todoroki started offering Deku their food. That was so wholesome, and like Deku's heart was so full with the love and care from his friends. Really, really sweet. And the only thing I would change about that scene is I wish Mineta wasn't sitting right next to Todoroki because he's ruining the moment just with his presence. Like, we don't even see his face. He doesn't have any lines, but just his balls being in the frame is just, ugh. I'm mostly joking, but honestly, yes, that scene would have been better with somebody else sitting next to Todoroki. Um, but yeah, the show did a really great job setting up this like very serious atmosphere with the large text on black screen. The same day, the next day, 8:30. But yeah, the scale of this rescue mission is pretty huge. They sent a lot of heroes to rescue Bakugo, but I think at this time we have actually more than that. It's just lesser known heroes. I think the top ranked hero might be Ryukyu. And yeah, it's still a very, very big deal though. And this is not important at the moment, but seeing the rest of 1A commenting on Deku, Uraka, Froppy, and Kirishima, I really want to see how much press this gets and how the rest of 1A is going to react when they find out what the four of them have been wrapped up in. It'll be really, really cool. We see Mirio still deadly focused on in this episode as well. It's really unlike him, but I think it's important for him to feel his feelings and process them. And when it finally came time to make a move, he was so pumped up. That really just brought like an infusion of energy to this episode that I feel like we really, really needed. We've only had him around for like a third of a season, and yet his energy and enthusiasm honestly makes me feel like everything's gonna be all right. Makes me think of Inasa Uarshi and Kaminari being like, I do not trust that guy's enthusiasm. With Mirio, it's the opposite. I trust his enthusiasm so wholeheartedly, and I really love it. I mean, when Nejire sees him all hyped up, she smiles really. She smiles a really happy smile, and even Amajiki turns around and smiles too. And I don't think we've actually seen him smile before. He's always just so anxious. But Mirio just makes everyone's fears and doubts melt away. He definitely has the feeling of a symbol of peace for sure. I've mentioned that before a lot of times, but definitely. Speaking of Nejire, though, her personality is a little much. It's cute. It's a little much. But I really like her character design. The twists in her hair are fun. But we saw it twist in a different way this time. Like when they were all in there in the middle of the night, her hair was like twisted around her whole upper body like a scarf. That was very, very cool. And I don't think I mentioned this in the past, but the way it twirls into horns. During this episode, I wondered if it was to pay homage to Ryukyu, but I went back and looked at Ryukyu, and she actually doesn't have horns. She does have like these spiky things on her like metal mask thing, but that's it. Anyway, just wanted to reiterate that I am a fan of Nejire's character design, even though her character herself is just a little too much. But yeah, we had Night Eye use his quirk on Ares' current, I don't know what the word is, caretaker. He's not their caretaker because he's part of the group that is keeping her against her will. But that was the day before when Night Eye used the quirk, but I'm not sure how late in the day. And we're starting this mission at 8:30 in the morning, so hopefully his quirk has had enough time to go on cooldown, because I'm sure it'll be necessary at some point during this mission. And I think we've only seen Night Eye in action once, and that was after using his quirk on Deku while he was testing him. So the fact that he's rushing in into this compound without his quirk, with the ability to only use his quirk once, I'm very curious how capable he is, and if he'll be able to, how much he'll be able to help in battle. So I guess we'll find out. And yeah, we got to see some new quirks this episode. Ryukyu transforms herself into a dragon, a very unique looking dragon. I don't think I've seen one quite like that. I don't think I've seen a dragon with human skinned, a human skin tone. That's just weirding me out a little. But yeah, definitely want to see her breathe fire. Hopefully, show us what makes her the number 9 hero. We saw Rock Lock earlier in the episode, being able to lock certain things in place. That could have its uses. Could he theoretically lock someone's like clothes in place and then they just can't move because they're like inside their clothes? And I'm curious how locked into place it is, because can it be overcome with enough force? It can withstand at least 150 to 200 pounds, given that Rocklock was able to stand on the piece of wood that he froze. So yeah, I'm curious about that. Yeah, everybody is ready to charge into the compound. Overhaul stops by his father's bedside, apologizing for the commotion that's about to happen. Didn't even know he had a surviving father at this point. That feels like it could be important. And it's unfortunate but expected that Overhaul not only anticipated this attack, but was ready for the heroes and the police to come knocking. I wonder if he has anybody inside the police department or in the hero ranks feeding him information or what. Or maybe he has someone on his payroll who has a quirk that helps with gathering information. And he plans on setting the 8 bullets of the Shie Hasaikai on the heroes. Not so sure. That's a little scary, given that all of Team Ryukyu stayed behind to deal with just one of them. And yeah, the first one busts through the door right as the heroes are about to get in. And given that Ryukyu I think is the highest ranked hero there, is it a good idea leaving one of the best heroes back here in the near the entrance? I feel like we might need her further down too. But I guess since it's an underground compound, she can't do much on the outside, in the inside anyway, right? And they did say that Mirio is the closest to number 1. I keep forgetting who says that, but I guess he could be the biggest weapon they have down there. Speaking of which, I'm a little surprised they didn't send Mirio ahead to scout. I guess they had to, like, since they're the good guys, they needed to announce the warrant and whatnot. They couldn't have just one of their own, like, just trespass and maybe have not. I think criminal trespassing, if you're on the side of the law, I don't know what the laws are in Japan for that, but now that they are going all in, he should slip ahead and try to stay secure Eri, or at least try to hold off Overhaul from running away from her until backup arrives. And I mean, he's got the advantage of not being able to be hit, so it's not even that much of a risk to him. Even though he and Deku are just students, though, I think they're definitely going to play up this emotional angle and have them be like heavily involved in this rescue. And I really wish Mirio had the ability to take other people with him when he uses permutation, but like he could be in and out of there with Eri so quickly. But I mean, that would make so many threats in this series just completely trivial, and his quirk would be even more broken than it is already. So I guess they can't do that. Anyway, I'm already a 10 on the emotional scale, and we haven't even fully started this mission. So yeah, episode is a 10 for me. I feel like we're going to break the scale pretty soon, so I'm going to go watch the next episode right now. This show is so good. So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, really helps with the channel. And we are 1 week ahead over on Patreon in the early reaction tier and 3 weeks early on the full reaction tier. So go check that out on Patreon in the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time with hopefully we get to save Eri soon, very, very soon. Bye, friends.